Welcome back for match 1, and we will be on the play. Pretty good hand here, actually. We have City of Brass to give us multiple colors. We have basically everything we need here. Quick Mana War, turn 3. Forbid, turn 3 if necessary. On our way to getting out Wurmcoil Engine, Future Sight. So, yeah, definitely an easy keep. So we'll see what our opponent is doing. And there it is, a mountain. Okay. He's got 1-drop Seal of Fire, so he's probably playing some sort of burn deck. Maybe aggro red burn, something like that. Which I think our deck will actually match up pretty well against. Wurmcoil Engine is going to be tough for a deck like that to deal with. But we'll see. Another mountain, so definitely seems to be on the mono red path. Alright, Gorehouse, a Chain Walker. I'm no doubt this will be unleashed. There you have it. Gonna try to get in there for some damage. And even though our opponent's kind of leapt out ahead, I mean, now we're going to go ahead and put down our third land. The only thing that's awkward is 2 of our lands damage us. So another island here, though, helps, so we don't have to necessarily damage ourselves as much going forward, but we're still going to take 1 here. But I think the play is to cast the Threads of Disloyalty here and just steal the Gore Clan Chainwalker. Our opponent's probably going to destroy it with the Seal of Fire, but that kind of gets their Seal of Fire off the board, and it leaves us with another tempo play next turn with Mana War. Or if we need to keep Forbid up, that's also an option for us, so I think that's the way to go. And if our opponent decides for some reason they don't want to sacrifice the Seal of Fire, then we have a 3-2 to beat in on. So, and of course they do destroy their own creature, so yeah, we come out ahead there with a 2-for-1. Yeah, looks like definitely mono red. Mono red aggro. Boros Reckoner. So we can bounce that next turn, if nothing else. We draw Old Man of the Sea. Actually, a pretty good draw against this deck. He's probably going to have some smaller creatures here. Alright, so we'll just bounce Boros Reckoner for right now. Give us a little tempo. And we're only 2 lands away now from Wurmcoil. 1 land away from Future Sight even, so feeling pretty good right now. Opponent still has 4 cards in hand though. I mean, obviously they probably have some kind of burn to take out the Mana War, and they'll also be able to recast their Boros Reckoner. We get an Abbot. Now, our opponent played a mountain before the Abbot, which probably you don't really want to do just because odds are you're going to draw a mountain, and you could have played that one. But instead, he reveals PN Karen, so that will stay exiled. That's good for us because that could have been hard to deal with. And we get Chain Lightning, which is interesting too. I mean, he's Chain Lightning the Mana War, which is fine, but if he waited till the next turn, he could have got in for some damage as well with his Prowess effect. I don't know. Alright, so that's good for us. We have a couple options here. We could just throw Future Sight down and get a little card advantage going forward. Or we could play the Old Man, which is a good blocker against this deck, and could potentially steal something. But I don't feel like there's a lot of pressure on us right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and play the Future Sight. Typically a mono red aggressive deck, you might not have the time or luxury to do this, so I'm just going to do it now. We have an island on top of our library, so okay. Well, we might take a few points of damage here. If there's a burn spell followed up with an attack with a Prowess, I mean, we might be taking like 6 or something, but I still feel fine with that since we do have some plays. Obviously, next turn we can play the Wormcoil Engine. That's going to be backbreaking, I think, for this deck. It's going to be a hard creature to get rid of. It's going to be a hard creature to attack around, and it's going to give us lifelink, which is backbreaking for mono red aggro. So our opponent just gets in with 2. No sorcery or instant, I guess. And the Boros Reckoner comes back. Okay. I kind of misclick here. I should have played the island from the top of the library, but wasn't thinking. But it's alright. We'll just go ahead and play our Wormcoil Engine. I mean, our opponent could have something like Inferno Titan, but they are still a couple lands off that. I mean, that would at least give us a run for our money a little bit when it comes to Wormcoil, but remains to be seen just how red deck wins this deck is compared to a big red type deck. So alright, and that was enough. Our opponent saw enough of that Wormcoil. Like I said, Wormcoil is just backbreaking for a deck like this. There's just not a lot they can do. Direct damage spells don't always do enough damage to get rid of the Wormcoil Engine. Even if they do, it just splits into 2 creatures, and the lifelink just kind of destroys the burnout plan. So, alright, so we didn't see that much of our opponent's deck, but we have a good idea of what their strategy is and what they're doing. Their creatures are relatively small, so I'm thinking about like taking out a few things. I'm going to remove the Spell Pierce here, just because it doesn't seem that good. It's going to be a really economical deck, it looks like, with maybe some extra mana. And we'll throw, I think it was Repeal I threw in there, so it's a good tempo play for a deck like that. I'm not thrilled with this hand, but it's definitely playable. I mean, we have 2 islands, so we're not that far off from playing Sower, which could give us a little bit of advantage, although Sower's probably not great in this matchup, considering it's easily destroyed. We're close to Thassa with Future Sight, so that's a thing. We just have to draw lands, though, to get that to happen. And Condemn's great. That's going to buy us some time, but again, we need some white mana for that to happen. So I think this is a keep. It may be a little bit of a sketchy keep. I think our deck's better than this, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad hand. This is potentially a fast deck, but it didn't seem real fast last game, so I'm just going to keep it. Plays first turn Grim Lavamancer, so that's pretty aggressive. So we draw Old Man of the Sea, which again is going to be a good card for us, assuming we draw another land quickly. If he just attacks in here with a Lavamancer, that's not bad for us. If our opponent has another play, then that's a little worse, obviously. So he's getting in for 1. We'll see if our opponent has a follow-up. There is a follow-up play. And it's the Chainwalker again. Alright, no doubt unleashed. So that starts to put us on a clock. I mean, even without anything else, we'll be taking 4 damage next turn. Alright, well this is good. At least it's blue and white mana. And we have a Tundra coming up, so that's excellent actually. So this is working out. We'll of course keep that on top of our library. This is working out, albeit just a little too slow, I think. But it does open up the Condemn, and of course next turn opens up a few plays like Old Man in the Sea. Thassa will open up with this. With the Tundra, we could also play Sower and maybe steal one of these creatures temporarily. Alright, Magma Jet. I mean, taking 2 damage is not great, but the Scry is probably worse for us even. So it looks like maybe our opponent's stuck. Oh no, there's his third land. Maybe he's scrying for lands, but it looks like he's got one. Or I didn't notice. Maybe that was an upkeep magma jet to get a land. That probably was what it was. Alright. So, at least we have a play here. And we really have a couple options. I mean, we could run out Old Man of the Sea. It's a blocker. I mean, it trades with Chainwalker. Or we could just hold up mana for Condemn. But I think we need to do something. Have some sort of board presence here. So I'm going to run this out. I mean, if it trades, wonderful. I mean, it takes a big threat off the board at this point, and it buys us time to get our land up, and that's really what we need. Our opponent gets another land drop. May have an answer here for Old Man in the Sea. Let's see. Oh, okay. I was wondering what's going on. Alright. Stoke the Flames will take out Old Man in the Sea. We'll be taking another 3 here. Oh, we'll be taking another 5 here, Goblin Guide. So, yeah, our opponent's deck much more explosive this time, which it's not too surprising considering the archetype. So we're already down to 8. A couple options here. I mean, I could throw out Sower and try to steal some creatures. I'm going to have to... What's awkward, though, is I'm going to have to steal the Lavamancer because... Well... Yeah, I'm going to have to steal the Lavamancer because if I don't, Lavamancer can just kill Sower. And then we're just back to where we started. So I'm kind of hoping to buy some tempo out of this. I still block with the Sower at this point. It's just going to hopefully take maybe the Chainwalker off the board or something like that. And the Lavamancer won't be able to be used this turn. So it's really a tempo play. And depending on what we draw next turn, we might be able to mount some sort of defense here. A duplicate coming up next turn, which we can't cast. So that'll put us down to 6. Repeal's not going to do a whole lot against these cards. Maybe just save us a little time up here in Kieran. So that's going to be pretty tough because now our opponent also has the option to sacrifice the Thopter tokens for direct damage. And at this point, I think our opponent's got us beat here because if they attack in... Even if I condemn something, let's see, I can repeal a Thopter token. So that takes at least some of the option off the board if our opponent draws another land. Although they need 2 land, I guess. But let's just repeal the Thopter token. It's probably the best use of that card right now, and it's cheap. We'll have to hang on to our condemn. Can't really play much here. I mean, I can run Thassa out if I really want to. And if I do survive somehow, through some miracle, I get a scry. So if our opponent attacks in with Pierre and Kieran, the Thopter token, and the Goblin Guide, and they use the Lavamancer to do 2 to us, and then use the 3 to sacrifice the Thopter. There's really no way around it. So I can condemn something, but it's still going to be lethal. Unless our opponent misses the trigger to sacrifice the Thopter. I don't know. But we'll play it out. I mean, it's pretty specific. And yeah, that's what's happening. Our opponent's going to do 2 to us. And now they can attack in for 5. I can condemn and try to condemn Pia and Karanular. I guess that might buy me one more turn, though. If I condemn Pia and Karen, they can use the ability and sacrifice the Thopter. I'll be taking... Well, no, I'll still be taking 4. 2 from the Goblin Guide. Yeah, and it looks like they got it. They're going to use the ability. All you got to do is sacrifice the Thopter. Two damage, target creature or player. I don't know where the damage went, though. It didn't hit me. I didn't see it hit anything. Unless it hit the Thopter. Maybe our opponent double-clicked on the Thopter, and it did the 2 damage to the Thopter. I bet that's what happened. So, okay, we got a free turn. Magic Online. Sneak attack, unfortunately, not going to help us here. We'll scry that to the bottom. I mean, I can duplicate, so I guess I'm not technically dead. City of Brass, not a great draw. So if I duplicate, I can take the Lavamancer off the board and have a chump blocker for next turn, assuming my opponent can't do anything else to it. But being on 2 against this type of deck is not going to be good for us in the end, I don't think. Opponent only has 1 card in hand, though. He could get flooded out of mana or something, but still. If we survive, next turn we could play the Dragon. Another card that's confusing to use on Magic Online. Duplicate. Alright. So... Goblin Guide will come in. We can chump block it. But that's assuming our opponent has no other play. Looks like they got... Oh, yeah, that will do it. So Sarkhan's got haste. He just turned into a 4/4 flyer, and that's game. So even though our opponent misclicked there, no harm done, really. Yeah, I bet that's what happened. They probably clicked to sacrifice the Thopter, and then it probably said, what do you want to damage? Probably clicked the Thopter again. Opponent probably expected the Thopter to disappear with the first click, which I totally get it. I'm sure that's what happened. Ended up damaging the Thopter instead of us. Alright, so 1-1. What else do we have here? We saw a little more of the deck, and we saw Planeswalker. I mean, one possibility, maybe Dragon Fodder is not bad in this matchup because it's small creatures that are cheap blockers to deal with some of our opponent's small creatures. And it takes 2 removal spells to, or direct damage spells to get rid of them in most cases, so that's probably pretty good. I don't know if there's anything else that's really going to help us. I mean, Exclude's probably not great in this matchup. Maybe I just take that out. Yeah, I don't know if I want to pay 3 to exclude, even though I am drawing a card, but excluding a 1/1 or 3/2 creature or something just doesn't seem all that great. I mean, there's a possibility our opponent could have an Inferno Titan or something like that. We just haven't seen it yet. But I think this is good. A little land heavy, but I do like the hand. We are going to be able to draw another card off Gitaxian Probe. So I'm actually pretty good with this. I mean, we have all our colors of mana. Keeps us open to casting anything we draw. And we still have a turn 3 play with Old Man in the Sea. And we're very close to getting to Duplicant. And the fact that we can cantrip and see our opponent's hand, yeah, I'm good with this. We'll keep it. And one less land and maybe some more action would have been nice, but I don't think there's a lot of 6-handers that are better than this. So I'm going to get Gitaxian Probe. I'm going to pay the blue for it just because we don't need to damage ourselves any more than necessary against burn. Or red aggro. I don't know if this is more red aggro probably than burn. So our opponent's got 2 lands. They got the Seal of Fire. They got a couple big things. They're a little off from casting. Fire Fist Striker, that's not too scary. So at least we know what they're working with. Hellrider probably would be good in their deck, but right now they don't have a lot of other creatures for it to interact with, and they still need 2 more lands. Sarkhan's great as well, but still a ways off. So opponent plays the Seal of Fire, which can't get rid of Old Man in the Sea, which is actually pretty good. Deep Analysis, more card draw for us, so that's good. A little slow. It's going to cost 4. But as long as we don't get completely overrun, that'll be good for us. I assume now we'll see the 2/1 battalion creature come out. So what I could do then, assuming we don't get something better, I can play Old Man of the Sea. Gives us good blocker. Can't really be Seal of Fire as long as we don't block, I guess. And maybe that's what we do. Oh, Show and Tell. No, we have nothing to Show and Tell. Our opponent doesn't have anything great either, at least that we know of at this point. Hellrider would be their only option that we saw anyway. Okay, so Old Man in the Sea. I'm not going to block with it if our opponent attacks, just because then next turn I can steal the creature, and there's still a turn off Hellrider, and they'll probably be in a situation where we'll have to destroy their own creature again. Now, our opponent might have missed a land drop here. Let's see if they're just holding it back. So we won't block. Oh, so our opponent saw enough. Probably missed the land drops, it looks like, and got frustrated. So, oh well. Kind of sad that it ended that way with our opponent being stuck on land, but we'll see you in round 2.